Good morning, crypto people. This is Eureka John with Eureka Street Crypto Hub, broadcasting live on Theta TV from Leander, Texas at 6:50 in the morning on a Thursday, May 27th, 2021. And another day of vacation off of work today. And here I am up early doing the crypto deal. This is a lot of consecutive shows every single morning for me since February 6th, and I've been broadcasting on this channel in general since October 24th, 2020. So yeah, this is just my basic video blog and crypto experience, and you're on this crypto experience with me and watching me discover some new concepts and spout some opinions, good and bad. And it is what it is. If you can, maybe throw me a little bit of support by giving a thumbs up or whatever on YouTube or Odyssey or BitChute. But aside from that, I'm not asking for anything. I'm not shilling anything, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. And I'm definitely not any type of teacher or advisor. I'm not trying to be. So yeah, and it's not trying to be professional or anything like that. Just a dude looking at crypto. And so anything that you might want to show me, I'm all ears. And just like Ross Pro tonight, I'm all ears. All right. So let's get down to the crypto for today. Got my Apple. Bitcoin sitting at $39,554.55, still going sideways between 35 and 40. Ethereum, $2,817.89. Tether dollar one. Binance coin, 376.08, making its way back up from where it was in the depths of hell. I'm going to be selling off some of my Binance coin. I just got into it because I saw it was so low and I knew it was going to go back up. I wanted to turn an easy profit from some of the money I made from the BTCST platform and then pay off that Chainlink loan that I have all up in Hawk on Celsius. So I'll clear that out of the way. Chainlink's about to do some crazy things with Arbitrum rolling out here tomorrow. So if you haven't loaded up on Chainlink, I did, so that's all I'm saying. So I'll be loading up on some Chainlink as well, even a little more. Some interesting things are about to happen now Uniswap's trying to jump into the Arbitrum mix too. So the Uni token, Chainlink token, everybody, it's like Ethereum layer 2 and Ethereum 2.0 happening before Ethereum 2.0. So Cardano $1.74, XRP $1.02, the Doge 34 cents. Polkadot $23.95. Polkadot's been a little quiet lately, but it's still in the top 10. I'll have to look in to see what's going on lately with the old Polkadot. USD coin dollar, the biggest poser of them all, ICP 134.33. Stay away from this coin, it's bad news. Uniswap 28.93. Chainlink 34.79. Bitcoin Cash 765.70. Polygon Matic up at 223. Another layer 2 Ethereum solution. Polygon's got a lot of stuff going on with it, man. If you dig in, you're just gonna go down a rabbit hole like you'll never see. Litecoin $1.99, 199.50. Stellar 44 cents. Ethereum Classic 77.69. Oh, how hard you have fallen, Ethereum Classic. Solana 34.88, Binance dollar, USD is the stablecoin. VeChain 13 cents, Theta Network $7.45. Okay, so Theta Network just added another validator a couple days ago. We don't know who that validator is. There's lots of speculation flying around. A lot of people want to say that it's Amazon, but I'm not going to talk out of my butt. Actually, I will talk out of my butt. I do quite often every single day, and my family hates it. But all right, so let's see here. So I got that out of the way. I came across an article, and where is this article? It's a Decrypt article, and Tezos users sue IRS over crypto tax staking rules. The lawsuit has big implications for proof of stake projects across the crypto landscape. Now, if you don't know, there's proof of work and proof of stake. I found an amazing video that I'll share little snippets of it with that explains proof of stake for those of you who might not really be familiar with the differences between proof of stake, or even if you don't know what proof of stake is. This will show you in like 30 seconds or less. So I'll share that in a second. But first, I want to talk about this article. Okay. A Nashville couple has filed a lawsuit against the IRS asking for a refund for tax paid on Tezos block rewards. The case has important implications for how proof of stake rewards are taxed. And taxes are always the ever foreboding, looming issue going on. My taxes actually turned out all right. Probably because I'm not a baller, you know. So, but whatever. I'll wait and see. I'll probably get like a letter like 6 months or a year down the road saying that I owe like $50,000. That's how they work, you know. Like, oh yeah, you're fine, and then you get some letter. A Nashville couple filed a lawsuit against the Internal Revenue Service on Wednesday, demanding the return of thousands of dollars they paid the agency. Thousands of dollars that they paid the agency as a result of earning tokens for maintaining the Tezos blockchain. So they didn't wait for the letter. They went and picked that fight with the IRS. Now that takes some cojones, man. I ain't going to go shake that stick to beat that bush, man. No. The case has important implications for the broader crypto industry, given that more blockchains, including Ethereum, are moving to a Tezos-style system. So Ethereum 2.0, if you don't know, Ethereum is proof of work right now, and it's moving over to proof of stake. Two different ways of securing the consensus on the network. And so they're moving to a Tezos-style system. Okay, a model known as proof of stake that awards tokens to those who hold an existing supply of them and use them to update the blockchain. It's kind of a weird explanation. In their legal claim, filed in Tennessee federal court, Joshua and Jessica Jarrett claim they paid $3,293 to the IRS in 2019 after receiving 8,876 Tezos tokens. Hey, what's up, Rich S? How you doing? I like all your emojis. They had a little frog, the clown frog. The couple then sought a refund on the grounds that the tokens which they received for lending computer power to the Tezos network should not be taxed until they sell or exchange them. And 29 LH06 jumps on. Right on. According to the Jarretts, the current IRS rules do not allow for the taxation of cryptocurrency earned through staking. The couple claims that the tokens should not count as wages or income since they did not earn them from an employer but a decentralized network. They also liken their efforts to other professions that create something, like a baker who bakes a cake using ingredients in an oven, or a writer who writes a book using Microsoft Word and a computer Mr. Jarrett created property, says the complaint. And I guess that's true. The Coinbase educational video kind of likened staking to baking, and like I've said before, in the future we will all be not shareholders if you own stock, but you'll be stakeholders. And this is the way things are currently going with cryptocurrency, completely disrupting our monetary system with DeFi and staking. And as AI comes in and automation comes in, a lot of our jobs will become obsolete. So we will be forced to live under a model of UBI and staking, and we will earn passive income from the tokens that we hold of all our tokenized assets that are owned by everybody. Dropping my apple. And we're going to earn the passive income off of that staking, right? That's ideally, I think, how the World Economic Forum wants us to live. So while the agency has issued, the lawsuit's chance of success is largely unclear that they're suing the IRS. This is the legal ground, and the IRS Revenue Code is entirely silent on cryptocurrency treatment. They're just the snake in the grass waiting to pounce. While the agency has issued a handful of guidelines and has grown more aggressive in seeking out crypto revenue, this year it placed a crypto question on the first page of everyone's annual tax form. And yes, I did check that I have crypto assets. And then they asked no more questions. And then I turned in my basic, the little documents you get from a lot of these exchanges. But I didn't sit there and like itemize every single thing I have on MetaMask and every trade I did. If they ask me for that, I will give it to them. But I did just disclose that I had some cryptocurrency and stuff, and just showed some basic documents. It has failed to issue rules. Not saying that's what you should do. I'm not giving any advice on this stuff. I have absolutely zero clue what I'm doing with the IRS and tax stuff. I'm just kind of like, praying and hoping. Anyway, it has failed to issue rules for newer aspects for the fast-growing cryptocurrency, including staking. This week's lawsuit is being backed by an organization called the Proof of Stake Alliance, whose board members include executives from Tezos, Polychain Capital, and Coinbase-owned Bison Trails. According to a spokesperson, the groups and others decided to fund the suit out of conviction that the improper tax treatment of new tokens will harm the blockchain industry as a whole. It's absolutely true. If people start getting taxed on their staking rewards, like for instance, I have Aave locked up. I've made a good amount of money off of my staked up Aave, but if I have to sit here and pay taxes on that right now before I've even realized those gains and pulled them out and converted them to anything, then I'm going to have to try to pull dollars out of my butt to try to pay that, and then I'll have to end up unstaking it, and then what's the point of staking it in the first place if I can't pay for the taxes on the staking? I don't know. I just inhaled apple. Okay. So, the issue has also received attention on Capitol Hill, where a bipartisan group of lawmakers sent a letter last year to the IRS asking for network validators to be taxed when they sell tokens rather than when they receive them. Oh man, well, this is a cluster. While there is widespread sentiment that the U.S. needs clear rules on cryptocurrency taxation, the issue has struggled to find traction as Congress and the current and previous presidential administrations have been preoccupied with COVID and the economic fallout from the pandemic. This may be why the Proof of Stake Alliance has turned to the courts for a recourse. Although it's unlikely the Nashville court will issue an opinion this year given the slow pace of litigation. Meanwhile, the issue of taxing of proof of stake networks has also received scholarly attention. In 2020 paper distributed by Coin Center, a pair of University of Virginia academics made a similar argument to the Jarrett's. Our findings support the taxation of block rewards at the time of their disposition, not acquisition, which is the tax treatment accorded to other newly created property. So yeah, people stake up their tokens on the network to help secure the network. They receive rewards for those, but they are rewards in the native token that is being staked. So they're not receiving dollar amounts. They're just receiving more of that same token. Nothing is being converted to dollars. I don't think that there's any reason they should be taxed on it. To me, it's unrealized gains. But like I said, I would go over the basics of staking, proof of stake, because proof of stake and proof of work are different. Proof of work is what Bitcoin and Ethereum 1.0 are based off of, and blockchains like Zilliqa is based off of proof of work, and there's several others that are based off of proof of work. Komodo is based off of proof of work, Litecoin, Dash, Monero. Basically using your computer power to solve algorithms, and then when they solve those algorithms, a block is added, and so it's, and there's the difficulty level constantly being adjusted, but it is a really hard thing to do. And then the people with the more computer power, they're the ones more likely to get the block, and so it kind of turns into a race to finish the block, and then all these people are securing the network in that way. Proof of stake is done by people locking their tokens up onto the network, and that helps secure the demand. And both of these are trying to alleviate a 51% attack. Proof of work, and a 51% attack is when one entity or person or group or whatever owns more than 51% of the network, and therefore they are allowed total control, majority control over all the transactions that happen on the network, and they can reorder them or do whatever they want if they own more than 51% of the network to their advantage. And you don't want a 51% attack, and a lot of younger blockchains can have 51% attacks. Right now, Bitcoin and Litecoin and stuff like that are super secure because they are widely distributed. The difficulty level and the hash power needed to create blocks is really high. So 51% attack is very unlikely unless like an entire country takes over the network and all the computing power, but still even that is almost impossible to do. So that is proof of work. Proof of stake is a similar concept of trying to prevent 51% attacks, but it is done by people locking up their tokens on the network. Okay, so they're like, well, I mean, that, you know, how does that make any sense? Well, there's a really good video on it. I found this. It's a real obscure video on secure secrets. I was doing the secret network video a long time ago, and I came across this. And basically, it's this graph here. You have supply and demand. You have the price that goes up, and you have the quantity. So listen to this really quickly. It won't take long, and it is probably the best explanation of proof of stake that I have seen anywhere. And I've seen probably hundreds of proof of stake explainer videos. And it's always interesting. Like, this is why I do these videos. It's because I see all these videos and I understand the concepts, but when it actually goes to try to explain them to somebody, I'm just like, you know, and it just, you know, you can just hear just like this vacuous space in my head, and it's just like you're dropping a penny in and you just hear it fall. Ding, ding, ding. Anyway.
Supply and demand. You see, if someone wants to come in and buy 51% of the network, think about what this is going to do. Demand curve will shift right? This curve goes all the way up here, and suddenly price as a result is significantly higher. It's going to be extremely expensive for someone like the US or China to walk in here and buy out 51% ownership. And not only that, in the process of that 51% attack, the value of the network will drop drastically. So because of these supply and demand mechanics, it's suddenly extremely expensive to do this. This is where staking comes in. How does staking secure the network? Why do you earn a return from staking? Well, here's the answer. With staking, you lock up your supply. You lock up your supply with a secret contract, smart contract, whatever have you. And what does that do to the supply curve? What that does to the supply curve is the supply curve shifts left. There's less supply. But when you bond your tokens to the network, when you stake to the network, there's less supply available. What does that do to the price? Well, what it does is it makes the price even higher. It makes it even more expensive for an entity to come in and try to buy out 51% of the network. And even more so, this is the crazy part, is with staking, when we get over 50% of the network bonded to the network, it is physically impossible for someone to come in and buy out this 51% here. Because unless people unbond their cryptocurrency from their staking, there literally isn't even the supply available to own 51% of the network. So that's what staking is. You are helping protect the network against a 51% attack by locking up and decreasing the total circulating supply, thus making the price significantly higher. And that is the brilliance of this system. It's not just supply, it's using supply and demand mechanics to increase the price of the attack drastically. And that is the brilliance of staking.
So there you go. I mean, that explainer to me just kind of, that was my eureka moment. It brought it all to light with me. You know, supply and demand, and you limit the supply so much that it becomes so expensive that it is absolutely impossible to buy the network. And then when more than 50% of the supply gets locked up, it is physically impossible to overtake the network with a 51% attack. So yeah, that's the importance of decentralization and of people, lots of different nodes being out there and forming. I mean, technically, okay, there's another video here I'm going to show you. It's the importance of having lots of nodes everywhere, all over the world, and not just a small group of people doing the nodes either, because you could have a lot of different nodes and a lot of the coins staked, but they could all be staked by the same entity. And that is also something to check out. And I watched this video on the Defiant, and here, you have Robin Schmidt going into the blockchain explorers and looking at the validator dashboards. And it's something like, for instance, he digs into Harmony here, and Harmony shows that it has 1,000 nodes. Yeah, that's really impressive, 1,000 nodes. But when he actually digs into the dashboard, let's take a quick look here. It's really interesting. Now, he's really loud, so I'm going to have to watch the volume here.
Something you do need to know here, which is...
Hold on.
Now, there's 17 of them, and 2 of them have a partial outage.
Hold on. He's digging through,
okay.
Slamming.
It can happen. Now, what about Harmony? So if we look at the Block Explorer on Harmony, we see that there's a 2-second block latency. I remember when that was 10 seconds. Node count, 1,000. Shard count, 4. And it's the node count we're interested in. So 1,000 sounds very impressive, right? If you think that Ethereum has 4,000 or so, Harmony pumping in at 1,000 nodes sounds impressive. But something you do need to know here, which is the vast majority of those nodes are in fact not run by the community. They're not run by external validators. They're in fact internal. And the picture gets a little muddier if you go to the validator dashboard and you look at how many validators there actually are. Go down the bottom, it's 105. That's still quite a lot, and many of these validators are taking up more than one slot, but still, that's not that decentralized, is it?
Yeah, okay, so Robin Schmidt is bringing up really interesting points. Like you have to look at, okay, yeah, there's a lot of nodes, but validators can run more than one node, I believe, or whatever. The actual number of validators on there is a lot lower than the nodes that they advertise. And then there's another example here, and it goes into the Elrond one, where it looks at the number of validators. Okay, and I'll go over here to the validator, and I checked both of these, the Harmony one, and I looked at the Solana one and the Elrond one, and then I went and I looked at Arc blockchain, and I looked at Theta, and I looked at Zilliqa. And I'm just checking these numbers of validators and who they're run by. Are they run by the community, or are they run by the actual blockchain themselves? So you look into Elrond Community Delegation. That's a validator right there. Then you scroll down. Yeah, all right, good. Pretty good distribution here, And I'm not dogging on any of these blockchains. I mean, it is really hard, but I'm just trying to point out the difficulty it is to get a bunch of people to run a node, because running a node is actually intensive, it's technical, and it can be difficult depending on which blockchain you're running. And I have not found an easy node to run. But look at here, starting at a validator 78. Look at that. All those logos. Those are all Elrond logos. Those are all run by Elrond themselves. These are not independent validators. So think about that when you think about the decentralization. And in that video I showed you about the price and demand supply and the staking, who are these run by? So it may show like it has a ton of different nodes and it's very decentralized, but then you notice, and you go into their validator dashboard and you notice that they're all run by the same entity. So just little things to kind of think about whenever you think some blockchain is like the most amazing blockchain and use case in the world and stuff like that. I mean, I think Elrond is pretty good, but Harmony's good, Solana's good. Solana actually has a lot of different validators, and it's got a pretty dashboard. So let's look at validators on Solana. So yeah, the more distributed the nodes are, that's a good thing as far as going around the world. And then you have to make sure that these are all independent validators and not owned by the same entity. And I don't really know exactly how to go in and check that, but there is. And I'm kind of poking through and kind of new at all this as well myself. So excuse me if I say something completely out of whack. And then you have something over here like Arc blockchain, and Arc is not just anybody can be a validator. They have something called delegated proof of stake, in which they have a rotation of 51 nodes, I believe, or 51 delegates, and then they rotate those around, and they vote on who the most reliable validators are. So yeah, these are all independent as far as I can see, so that's good. But there's only 51 validators as far as I know, or something like that. I could be totally wrong, but that's what delegated proof of stake is they rotate around this continuous validator pool by votes and by reliability. And then you have something like Hedera Hashgraph that only at all times has 21 validators, and those are all like large corporations and stuff like that. There's absolutely zero chance of just somebody, some schmo like me and you, becoming a validator on Hedera Hashgraph. And you have the Theta nodes. As much as I love Theta, and I run the Theta Edge node, and I have Theta Guardian node on my computer, but there's absolutely zero chance of me ever becoming a validator node, because the people running the validator nodes on Theta Network, they are large corporations such as Google and Samsung and Binance. Let's go down here. Join the network. So if you have enough Theta token, you can get a Guardian node. Anybody, tokens or not, can run a Edge node on their computer. So you have all the Edge nodes in yellow, you have the Guardian nodes, and then you have these validator nodes, and there's 15 of them now. But the enterprise validator nodes, you have to go through a vetting process and basically be chosen, and you have to be a huge corporation. So these are things to think about. When people say that they are a decentralized network, there is no such thing as completely decentralized or complete. I mean, there is such thing as completely decentralized and completely centralized, but the reality of the case is that there's some kind of spectrum of how decentralized is your network or how centralized. I can't think of anything that is. Well, I mean, I guess Bitcoin is 100% decentralized. Come up with some examples. Let's try to figure out some kind of spectrum from complete centralization to complete decentralization. And let's try to look at the claims of what each of these blockchains say about themselves, whether or not they are decentralized or centralized, or that they are in the process of decentralizing. You hear that a lot too. A lot of blockchains are in the process. Actually, Cardano has been in a process of decentralization, and that's, you stake your tokens to the delegate pool, and now I believe they've actually achieved 100% decentralization. So there's a case where you've gone from 100% centralization to 100% decentralization by having the community fire up their own nodes and staking pools, and having all the tokens distributed that way, away from the main blockchain account and the original founders' wallets and stuff like that, from the ICO or whatever. So yeah, anyway, here's the enterprise validator nodes for Theta. You can see Google, Sony, Samsung, Binance, blockchain. I mean, this is going to be huge, and it's coming out to Theta 3.0 end of June. So now Theta's super cheap. It might be a good time to start loading up, man. That's all I'm saying. $7.50. That's the cheapest I've seen it in a long time. What's up, Prince Maury? Nice to see you. Man, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say today. I just wanted to talk about proof of stake a little bit, Tezos and the IRS. Kind of clarify. I'll link this video, and I will link this video in the description. In the beginning, he talks about proof of work and explains that a little bit as well. It's only 5 minutes and 28 seconds long, so definitely worth a watch, and it will completely give you. Hopefully it'll give you that eureka moment. So yeah. Oh man, yeah. Now I got a little shtick, my eureka shtick. Yeah, that's my little what is it? Gimmick? I got a gimmick. All right, eureka moment. Oh my god. I'm not gonna start trying to sell merchandise based on that. I guarantee you. All right, don't. So don't think I'm not gonna try to capitalize on that. Dude. Alright, no, it's not episode 15, it's episode 156. Okay, I had that window covering it. Alright, so yeah, hit me up, EurekaJohn1 on Twitter. I'm on the Float app, I'm on Odyssey, I'm on YouTube, I'm on BitChute. What else am I on? BitTube. I gotta update that. I'm on Patreon, even though I haven't been on there in a while, but I'm not really asking for any donations or support in that way. Just give me a thumbs up. And yeah, I will talk to you I'll talk to y'all mugs tomorrow. All right. Bye.